They want to serve their communities. They want to help people. They want to make people's dreams come true. And so, like most businesses, we are very, very good at what we're passionate about. And then we have some areas for improvement in the things that are kind of just like the disciplines of business. So, one of the areas that I think are really, really helpful, it's helped me, it's helped agents that I've worked with, is time blocking and setting goals, sticking to goals, having a plan. And yeah, I mean, like, it's so much easier to get somewhere if you have a roadmap. Would anybody else agree with that? You can nod your head yes or no. I can see you guys in here. And also, by the way, I'm very, very laid back. If anybody has a question, you want to jump in and say something, you want to participate, you want to add, I love it. I love interaction. So first, we're going to start off with SMART goals. I like SMART goals. Can everybody see my screen here with this worksheet of SMART goals? Okay. So what I really like about SMART goals, and by the way, I'm not sure exactly how this will get distributed to you. However, I am going to distribute this worksheet. This worksheet, you can print it off and you can use it every day, every week, every month, however you want to do it, because your goals could change. How I kind of always, before I get right into the SMART goals, one thing I always like to share with people is about strategic planning and management. You should always have a mission and a vision for whatever you're doing, right? So have most of you, as you've planned your business, come up with a mission and a vision? Anybody? And it's okay if you haven't. I'm going to say, if you'd like to follow my advice, sit down, take some time and write yourself out a mission and a vision. If you don't have a mentor or somebody that you can share it with, please reach out to me. I've helped lots of people write missions and visions. The reason that those are really important is this. That really shouldn't change. So your mission and your vision should stay true. Your goals may change in order to continuously go back to your mission and your vision. So let's talk about SMART goals. SMART goals are really awesome. The reason I like SMART goals is they're specific, they're measurable, they are achievable, they are relevant, and they have a timeline. Okay. Achievable, that's a really important one. And I want to make sure I mention something about it. I believe that it's a very important thing to have stretch goals. So, what I mean is, don't set the bar low, set the bar high, but don't set it so high that you can't reach it, right? And guess what? You can always move the bar higher and higher. So you could progressively move that bar up. And I also think it's just so important to understand why things need to be specific. So if somebody says, come visit me at my house, and they say, where do you live? And you say, I live in the USA. Okay. What state do you live in? Think about it. How much easier is it when somebody invites you to their home and they give you their address? It's a specific location that you can show up to. So, does anybody have any questions about SMART goals? Is anybody currently doing SMART goals? Anybody? Okay. So, this SMART goal worksheet, you could, if you look at the bottom of it, you could say my goal for this week is to set 5 new business appointments. So that's one a day, right? You set that goal, and then you're going to go back and you're going to say, is it specific? Yes, I want to do 5 new business. That's specific. Is it measurable? What happens after the appointment? Did it turn into conversion? Is it something that you can say, okay, I spent 30 minutes with 5 people this week and I got a new customer out of it, new client, and so forth. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense. The next sheet that I'm going to pull up here, and just everybody let me know that you can see it, or better yet, if you cannot see it. So the SMART goals that I just showed you, they go back and they relate to this worksheet. I really, really love this worksheet because it's a great roadmap. Um, I like to call it the five. So you've got your faith and personal growth, your fitness and wellness, fun, family and friends, and finance and business. Because as y'all may know, it isn't always the same goals when you're looking at business, family. They all kind of have their own place, right? So when you're talking about faith and personal growth, what's your overall goal? Why do you want to do X, Y, or Z? What's stopping you from doing that? What do you think once you've identified your roadblock, what could help you get past the roadblock? And then, by the way, is the goal SMART? So then you can go right back to that worksheet, or you can look right here and you can see your SMART goal checklist. So I've come up with a goal. Is it specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and is it time-based? So a really good example is, I want to prioritize mental health. The reason that I want to do that is that it has a direct impact on myself and the people around me. What holds me back is how sometimes I react to stress. And what do I think could help me get past that roadblock? I think meditating for 10 minutes a day has been probably the number one thing that's helped me with managing of stress, like better sleep. So when we see the calendar in my next part, it doesn't have it on there because this is the new thing, but I meditate right now in the morning and I meditate at night because those are the things that help me start and end my day well with a clear brain and just make me feel happy. So, and is it smart? Absolutely. I can measure the results. I can realistically dedicate 20 minutes a day to taking care of my brain and my mental health. I'm doing it for a specific period of time. And it's realistic. So that's one thing. But as you can see, there are these five categories. I also think it's, of course, important that we remember to have fun because business and no fun, well, you know what that work equals out to. So does anybody have any questions about this worksheet? Oh, we're good. All right, I'm going to jump into some power block. Oh my gosh, let me get the word right. Time blocking techniques and just some things that have worked well for me. Can everybody see this PowerPoint? Don't be afraid to unmute, guys. I don't mind. All right, so time blocking. Time blocking is really, really important. Have you ever heard anybody say, oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't have time for it, right? And then who here thinks, well, you can make time for what you would like to make time for. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop messing with my mouth. You prioritize and make time for what you want to make time for, right? And even sometimes we want to make time, but we're just not sure how to do it. And what I found is that through time blocking, you create time. I mean, we can't create more than 24 hours in the day that I've heard of, but we certainly can say, okay, I'm going to do this activity. I'm going to move on to this activity. Most people that are in sales, at least that I've come across, they have what I call shiny toy syndrome. Anybody know what that is? No. Have you ever seen anybody go, squirrel? Yeah, because we get excited. Like, what I mean is, I get excited about things and my attention can get diverted really, really easily. So that's why I call it shiny toy syndrome. I see a shiny toy and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Well, guess what? That doesn't really help me build my business. But what does help me build my business is staying on track. But naturally, if I did not have a roadmap, I would be all over the place. I'm not even going to lie. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. I've done my own SWOT analysis of what's good in my world and my business. And what I know is that time blocking, it truly, truly helps me to stay on track. Okay. So when is a good time to time block? So I think that like goals are something that you should create yearly. That's why you always hear people talking about vision boards. I do believe it's also a good idea personally. I believe it's a good idea to do 60, 90, 60, 90, 30, 60, 90-day goals, if I can get that out correctly. I do think that that's a good idea because sometimes what we started out wanting to do at the beginning of the year, and especially in real estate, we have a very volatile industry, right? So sometimes your goals could change. And I also think that as you plan time to set goals, it gives you a time to review the goals that you've already set, just making sure they're still relevant, right? Still following the SMART goal process. So easy rule of thumb though, goals are yearly and time blocking. So these are action items that achieve your goals. It's something you could do weekly. So your time blocking could be the same every week. You could set your time up for 3 months, or you can time block week to week. It's really up to you what works best for you. I find that Friday afternoon or Sunday evening are the best days for me to time block because that sets me up really, really well for my following week. And then also don't forget to time block in the time blocking activity. Sounds kind of silly, but if you don't actually say, I am going to time block on X day, there's a chance you may not time block. And then you're going to get into the doom loop of, I need to do this, but I'm not getting it done. It happens to all of us. So, one, you've probably already created your 2022 goals. But just kind of maybe go back and review them. If you do like the 5 F's that I presented just a few minutes ago, maybe you can go back and see if you've got a goal or two per category. And remember, it's important. I always put in here faith and personal growth because for some people it's not faith, for some people it's personal development. There's different ways that can be helpful, but either way we want to grow and we want to have time to like grow ourselves. Also, fitness, wellness, the better you feel, the better you can serve the people you serve, right? Family, fun, and finance and business. Since they're all measurable things and time based, you should be able to then translate those goals into a time block and put them into your schedule. Does that concept make sense to everybody? Yeah, okay. I know it's not real complicated, but it's kind of like what I found is like creating systems tend to make things flow more smoothly. So when, let's see if I could go the right direction. Okay, so for example, and this is gonna fill here, as you can see, this is what an example calendar for me looks like. It's not gonna be a totally up to date because I just recently started the meditation in the nighttime. So it's not on here, I don't think, but it's really kind of a nice thing. And then like, it's also important. Has this ever happened to anybody where you're like, gosh, I really want to see this person. I just wish I had more time. I really would like to spend more time with XYZ person, or it's really important for me to have, as you might see Sunday, it says family dinner. My family lives here, so we do get together on Sundays and we do have dinner. And there are times where I feel like, gosh, I'm so glad I put this on my calendar because it's a really important day for my family. My children are my parents' only grandkids here. So they definitely want to see them once a week, if not more. Um, what about spending time with friends? Like, how often do your friends say, like, gosh, we really need to carve out some time to get together? Well, let's carve it out. Let's actually put it on the calendar. What about date night with your significant other? I mean, I know that my husband and I get really, really busy. And then we're like looking at each other Saturday night and we're like, gosh, we haven't gone out together for a little while. Let's go do something. Well, we decided we were going to plan, we don't do a date night once a week. That doesn't really work for our family, but we do a date night once a month. And we make sure that we have a babysitter. We make sure kiddos are, going to do something fun. And then we go out and we just act like kids because we like to be children sometimes. That's how we function. And we go out, we have fun, we laugh. Sometimes we go bowling, whatever thing. But it's been really helpful for us in our family. Okay, so the second thing that I think is really important is to make sure that you make time blocking for the life non-negotiables, okay? So these are the things that you really, really have to do every week. This could include grocery shopping, cleaning, paying your bills. If you add them to the calendar, you're more likely to get them done, and you could probably get them done more quickly and stay organized. So this is really helpful for me. I don't know about all of you, but like I run my own territory. So it's kind of like I'm the CEO of my business. So that is inclusive of like creating budgets, creating calendars, creating events, taking time for my clients, getting new business, maintaining existing business. There's probably more that I'm leaving out right now. But as you might know, there's a lot going on, right? And then in my home, I personally am the one who handles bills. I handle the grocery shopping and the organization of the home. So to make sure that all of that is done, I pretty much know that my brain can't remember all of that just off the memory. So I make a things to do. And then guess what? They get added to my calendar. So it can kind of look like something like this. These are non-negotiables, like keeping my house clean, grocery shopping, morning routine. I am going to touch on that a little bit. Somehow I want everybody that to like wave your hand, nod your head. Do you have a morning routine that you do daily? Yeah? No? Do you think that a morning routine might be something important? I do too. And I used to not think it was that important. I think before I was a mom and had a busy business, I was like, just get up and kind of start the day and get rocking. And what I realized was that my days became very hectic. And I sometimes really just needed to like block that time in to, listen to a podcast, do an affirmation, organize my clothes for the day, like whatever it is, having that time to like get my brain ready to go is really important. And my morning time is from the time that I drop my kiddos off to school until my first meeting. So that could sometimes be business planning. There's different things that I do in my morning routine, but that's my time. I think it's really important that we all have our own time. Okay, what about business non-negotiables? So how important is it that you are doing listing appointments, showing homes, drafting contracts, getting your listing photo shoots scheduled? Those are all things that if you do not do them as a real estate agent, what would happen to your business? Would you have a very busy business anymore? Probably not. And then also remember that you should send your property information to your partners, especially super, just kidding. But just making sure that you're blocking in your calendar the things that are like, if I don't do this, my business stops. Okay. So what that kind of looks like, you can kind of make time to do that, right? So, make vendor arrangements, revise contracts, follow up with clients, prospecting, listing appointments. Who here loves to make cold calls by show of hands or shake of head? Yeah. Cold calling isn't the funnest thing, but I will tell you, if you don't have some cold calling time, it's very, very hard to get new clients if you don't reach out to new people. Now, how you do that, you can be creative with it. But my point is, you really truly have to make sure you schedule in the things you like to do and the things that aren't your favorite things, because they all are there because they have a purpose in the way that you're running your business in your life. All right, so what about income producing activities? So we kind of talked about it, kind of said a little bit about it, but if you don't do these things, it's really hard to grow your business. So again, cold calling, maybe calling expired, canceled, FISBOs, anything like that, where you might get an opportunity to work with somebody you haven't worked with before. And then follow up with leads from any promotional efforts. So if you don't follow up after you've marketed, do you think that you've just used your money wisely or time wisely? Right? No. Because if they just see your image or your contact information and you don't reach out, there's another realtor or somebody in your world that probably is reaching out right now. Door knocking, if that's part of your business, I think it's always a great idea, especially if you've got an open house to campus the area, at least like a block or two around the area that you're doing the open house, inviting the neighbors to come look at the open house and then getting an opportunity to shake hands, and maybe they want to know what their home's worth. Their neighbors selling, maybe you could sell their house. I think this is a great time to block in sphere and referral marketing. Again, open houses. Don't forget about networking and events. I think it's a good idea to network with other realtors, because who here might think it's a little easier when you know the other person that's representing on the other side of the contract? Do you think things might get done a little bit more easily and sometimes a better level of understanding? Yeah, I do too. I've seen it lots of times. And then also making sure you're blocking time for your social media and video marketing. I'm going to say it again, video marketing. One more time, video marketing. How long does it take to make a video? It used to take me like 3 hours because I'd have to continuously re-record until I really liked it. And then I started to maybe be a little bit less like picky about it. I would script a little bit before, and right now I'm working on 1 to 2 video production a week. I think I'm still on the low end, meaning I see people that are doing like 3 and 4 videos a week, or they go live. People watch videos, guys. So just make sure to make time to do that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be filtered and edited and fancy. It's just really like conveying your message in a short period of time. And I really do think that that is where I see people shine and then get a lot of exposure from it. So here's what that can look like. My calendar is getting pretty full, right? But for the most part, I'm getting a lot of stuff done. I'm not overwhelmed. I know that I start this, I end this, but I know that I've got it on my schedule to do again. So I can come back to it tomorrow. Do you think it's okay to come back to stuff and maybe work on another topic or something else that's like income driving for you? I do. I think that, unless it's just like a fire or it's like a priority or it has a deadline to it, it's okay to come back to things too, guys. Because sometimes when you come back, you have better, new, fresh ideas. It's kind of like take a break, look back at it again, and maybe you missed something, or maybe you thought of something new, you got a new idea. Okay, so creative space. This is my favorite time. I don't really have to block time to do this. I mean, I do. Like, if I could do this all day, my entire day would say creative space. So I have to make sure I block the other things in so that I'm not only creating. But I think this is your time where you're going to be spending creating ads, being creative on like what you're doing with your social media. I think brainstorming is a great idea. By the way, brainstorming, sometimes like the idea isn't the best, but that's what a brainstorm is. When you're brainstorming and you're taking that time out while you're doing your creative space time, write stuff down, make like brainstorming circles. There's so many different things that you can do. And you might be really surprised that some things that sounded kind of unusual in a brainstorm actually ended up being a really cool idea later on. Designing a monthly newsletter to send. Okay, I just started doing a newsletter consistently this year. So each month I make a video I ask for a client testimonial. I advertise some really cool upcoming events that would be helpful for realtors. So that could be CE classes or sometimes fun things like I do random petty parties. So I will take my clients to a nail salon and they will be able to sit down and get their nails done, have some mimosas and some goodies. And that came out of like a brainstorming session. But if I'm doing stuff like that, I want people to know about it. So that's what my newsletter is. And then because I work in home warranty, I always want to give you a tip about maintaining the home or something that might need to be done. What about designing like something you might send out to your farm? Perhaps you might want to do some role playing. Role playing is really good if you're coming across like an objection that you really just can't seem to like get over. So, one of the things I hear a lot is, "Oh, I have a lot of equity in my house, but if I sell my house, there's nowhere to go." Has anybody else heard that before? Yeah. Do you have a like, here's what I say when somebody says that? Or do you just kind of say, yeah, it's true. I know it's expensive to buy. I don't think you do that. But what I mean is, if you have something thoughtful and planned, and this is something you can do while you're doing your creative space, what do I say when somebody says that? Um, Long story short, great time for doing also your educating and your researching. Do you think it's important to know what's going on in the market and to stay up on that, like probably more than once a week, maybe checking on it more than maybe twice a week? And then also it's really important, like during your creative time, is that you are taking mental refocus time and then taking breaks. You have to take breaks. And you can even schedule in your breaks. So, where am I going here? Sorry. There we go. So as you can see, I schedule in mental break, take a stretch, stand up from my chair, take a break in between a meeting that I have or a class that I'm teaching. I make sure, and by the way, this is just a generic calendar for me right now. Mine doesn't always look like this, but I kind of wanted to give you all an idea. You can color code. I don't have a lot of space on here that doesn't have something planned into it. And that's how I'm able to grow a business. I have two very little children. So I have a 6-year-old and I have a 16-month-old. I help my parents who are elderly. I sit on 2 boards. One of them I'm a founding member of. I serve my community. I volunteer. And I've consistently been a top performer with my company. And I personally need 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So that's how I do well. But the only way that I can accomplish getting a good night's sleep, taking care of all the people I serve, growing my business, and then not go cuckoo is by planning and having the things scheduled. It really, really does help me. I didn't really implement, like seriously implement time blocking until about 2 years ago, but it really has helped me. And so as it helped me, then I started to really want to share this with others because I'm sure I'm not the only person who would like to be able to do a little bit more each day. So recap, 2022 goals. Remember, you've got your life non-negotiables, your business non-negotiables, your income producing activities, and then your creative space. So I want to just open up for a second. Does anybody have any questions before we go into our Canva vision board mini workshop? Does anybody here? I'm looking at Suzanne Oliveira. Do you time block?
Hi.
Hi.
I do, yeah.
I see something behind you. That's why I'm asking. Is that
yeah, that's my yearly goals.
awesome?
Yeah. So then I do time blocking. It doesn't really follow my calendar sometimes, my schedule, but I just have to rearrange.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How much time do you dedicate to time blocking, like to making sure, or does it just kind of go with the flow? And
I just go with the flow because sometimes pretty much with showings, it could be, 3 or 4 days in a row or just 2 days in a row. And then I just rearrange my
yeah,
time. So like I usually do it in the morning, my time blocking. And because in the afternoon, I have to adjust my time to my clients. And most of them, they want to see houses in the afternoon. So
are you blocking off time for your own personal activities, or do you only time block with the professional stuff?
no, I do too with my personal own activities. So for example, Tuesdays afternoon, it's dedicated to my kids. All activities and all of that, because I usually end by 6 o'clock with them. So we do everything,
Awesome. Awesome.
all Tuesday afternoon. Yeah.
I
Uh,
bet they appreciate that, don't they?
yeah, they do. They do. And then Saturday mornings, two activities with soccer or anything in that way. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out, but I could just
Oh,
see
no,
it right behind you. I'm like, I think she time blocks already.
yeah, that's fine.
So I appreciate that.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else want to share anything that they're doing or that might be helpful for the group? Maybe other people are time blocking or have a technique that would be helpful for others to know about. Anybody? All right. Maybe next time. So I want to show you all something kind of cool. I'm going to get out of this PowerPoint. And I am going to show you, we're going to hop into Canva. If anybody wants to log into their Canva account, please do. Do you know that you can make a vision board right on Canva? It's pretty cool. I'll show you one that's already been completed. I actually just did this one kind of quickly last night. And the cool thing about it is you can adjust it. And I'll show you why I have this white block over here. So I just kind of wanted to show you two examples of vision boards. So like I want to travel. I'm getting ready to launch a podcast. It's called Stories of the Strong. It says start a business. I'm not really doing it to make money, but I do want to share stories of people who've overcome adversity and become high producers. And so this is happening this year. I love to volunteer and serve my community. Sometimes I forget to take time and rest, and then my body lets me know. So that's part of my goals and part of my vision boarding that I've also incorporated, as I've mentioned previously, to my time blocking, and then eating healthy, my fitness and health and wellness. I mentioned that, so I have a digital guru that works with me. This is her vision board for this year. She actually usually teaches this class, but she's on maternity leave, waiting to have a baby. She may have the baby now. I'm still waiting to hear back. But this was her vision board. So she can see she's got a crib and some really cool things. I love it. I think these vision boards are really, really good. They're easy. So here's what I want to show you. Here. Okay, so in order to do your vision board, let me go back one step. It's really, really easy to get started. You're going to push create a design. And then in this search box, you can type in desktop wallpaper. I'm choosing desktop wallpaper because where do we look most? Like who here goes on their computer every single day, at least once? And what's the first thing you see when you turn on your computer? Your wallpaper, right? So you're gonna start here. The easiest way to do this, you can go into templates. And then you can actually go in here. And I chose vision board photo collage. And they have a whole bunch of different ones. I think some of them are more simple than others. So like this one's kind of cool. I think this one's really organized. And you can see this picture. You can basically what you can do, actually, I'm going to switch to a different design, one that's a little bit easier to, like, I like this one a little, here we go. I like this a little bit better. So you can actually like use the template and you can just take the picture out, okay? And you can go into, I really like this website. It's called Unsplash. And also in Canva, they have stock photos too, right? But I also like this Unsplash. So here I was looking at new cars. I think this is kind of a cool, this is a pretty cool one. So you can download it. Okay. And then you go back to your Canva board. And you can drop it in. And there you go. Now you've got, let's switch this out. Let's call this luxury. Oh, sorry, guys. So as you can see, you can kind of move all these boxes. Who here is using Canva like on a regular basis? Anybody? Does this, what I'm showing you make this kind of an easy way to use Canva? I'm not a graphic designer for sure. And like, I'm not somebody who's so wonderful at Canva. I'm okay at Canva. But as you can see, even for somebody like me who's a little bit of a novice, it's still pretty easy to just go in, move pictures, you can delete them, and you can go and you can add stock images. Or you can download, you can actually put your own pictures in there. It really truly is like however you want to do it. So I mentioned to you that I would show you, why do we have this white spot here? Can anybody guess why I might have that white spot? Does anybody's desktop look like this with no programs or anything on it? No, because you usually have them on your desktop, right? So let me just show you. One second here. So here's how my vision board looks. And then here's where you can have all your programs or whatever things you'd like to have on your desktop. Because like when they're over here, it's kind of hard to see them, right? So I like it better over here. You can do with Canva and with these kinds of things, you can actually do a lot of pretty cool stuff. You can say you want to like use the you want to use this particular image, but you don't want to have it on I'm going to go into this other screen. You don't want to have it in on your desktop. You want to use it for something else. You want to, I don't know, put it in a Facebook post. You can go into this button right here and you can resize it. So you see how it says Facebook post, Instagram story. Let's just say you wanted to share your vision with your network, with the people that you serve. You can put it into copy and resize. And now you have a post that is the correct size, that it will look correctly when you post it on Facebook. Okay. Any questions on that? So I know we're a little bit ahead of schedule here, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is to create the vision board in Canva. And then this is a living document too, in essence, right? So why do I bring together the vision board with the goal setting? Anybody? Do you think that your vision board should correlate to your goals?
Yeah, it motivates you to keep tracking, but vision board is in general what you want your life to be,
Yeah.
and you're building towards. and your goals are more specific.
Right. Do you think the goals are kind of the roadmap
Yeah.
and vice versa? They actually kind of go hand in hand, and vice versa. The vision board could be that roadmap for what goals you want to do to get to the visions that you have on your vision board. And kind of like vice versa, your goals can then correlate to your vision board. So, it really depends on the way your brain works, but you could start out with goals and then you can create a vision board based on the goals so let's say my goal is to go skydiving, which by the way is not a goal. I'm terrified of heights, but maybe I should make it a goal. Maybe that would push me out of my comfort zone, right? So if my goal is to stop being afraid of heights, maybe on my vision board, I go skydiving, right? Like something along those lines. So guys, that's really all the content that I have to share. I know that we all have really, really busy days. So I hope that, having a condensed class with bite-sized pieces of information is helpful for you. If anybody would like help creating their vision board, or if they're, first of all, was it easy to follow along on this Canva tutorial? It's pretty basic stuff, right? For the most part. Is it something that you think you could do? Okay, so I do usually leave a little bit of homework when I teach a class. Isn't that what teachers do? I really want to see everybody's vision board. Would you all commit to making a vision board? And you in
Made one
Canva?
last year for my kids to see it. Let me find it. Hold on. So you guys can see it, but I had to put it in a computer.
Awesome. I would love it if everybody would commit to take it. Took me, I created the vision board I showed you last night. I did it in about 20 minutes or
I
so.
don't know if you can see it. But
Oh, wow. I wish I could see like the specifics on it. Tell us what it says.
okay, so maybe here. So I have business and health, family, my kids, family, all family here in Peru. And then I have siblings, family in Peru, family in Arizona, family in Florida, and traveling.
Awesome. So you'd like to travel to see your family that's here in
Yeah.
Florida and Peru.
Mhm. So I made this for my kids to see it last year
Yeah.
because we were talking about all that stuff. So it was like, they need to see it, not just on my computer. Because sometimes they're like, okay, you have it in your computer. So I put it all together and they were like, oh, they were just looking at all the pictures.
I love it. That's really, really nice. Yeah. I mean, I think vision boards are great. I made a vision board. Well, I made it 3 years ago. It actually took me 2 years to do everything that I had hoped to do in 1 year, but I did do everything on the vision board. Guys, they work. I mean, but anything can work if you put your mind to it, right? And believe that it can work and you do the work to make it work. But I really would love to see everybody's vision boards. I know they're kind of private and personal, but I just really like to encourage people. And also, I believe that there is a level of this thing called accountability. And when I'm held accountable, I tend to produce a lot more. So I love to hold people accountably, but nicely. I'm not going to stalk you, right? But I would love to see your vision boards. Do you all think that you might make some time to do a vision board? And would you be open to sharing with me what you created? Do you all know how to get a hold of me? Can you see my contact information up here? Or is it hard to read? Let me put it in the chat box. Okay. Awesome. I'm sorry. I see I've got some messages in here, guys. If I missed anything, let me know. Shaz, let's get together. I'm going to post in here all of my contact information real quick. And yeah, please let me know how I can help. I really love to work with brand new agents. I love to work with seasoned agents, anybody that, feels that this is helpful to do things that grow your business, right? And I definitely believe that as a partner to the people I work with, if you do better, I do better, and we do better for our communities. And so hopefully, okay, everybody, I just posted here in the chat really quickly my contact information. The phone number here is my cell phone. I respond really, really well to text messages. And anything that y'all need, I'm happy to help. This is just one class that I do for my agents. I do other classes, and it can be anything from making a business plan to what do you do with leads when you get them. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll let y'all know about another class I'm doing, or perhaps we can get together here through Best Homes again. Before we conclude, do I have any questions or anything that y'all might want to know about before we say goodbye? Anybody? Going once? Going twice? All right, guys, go sell something, okay? And build those goals. I would love to see everybody's vision boards, and thank you so much for your time today. And I hope this was a good use of your time.
Thank you so much, Heather.
Bye, guys.